So first thing today is we're going to look at volume of three different kinds of shapes: rectangular prisms, cylinders, and triangular prisms. Now I want you to remember volume as being the area of the base times the height. That's what this capital B means, the area of the base. So in this case, our base is this part right here, a rectangle. What are the dimensions of that base? Okay, so the base is 4 times 8. That's the area of the base. And you're going to take it times the height. Well, how many layers of that do I have? 5. So what's 4 times 8? 4 times 8, 32, times 5, equals 160, and the label would be cubic centimeters. It's how many little cubes I can fit in there. Okay, so now let's take a look at the same rectangular solid, and let's find the surface area. The surface area is the sum of all the area of the faces. Now, a rectangular solid has how many faces? 6. It has 6 faces. And that's important that you recognize that before you even start. So when I'm finding the surface area, I'm going to make how many rectangles? I'm going to find the area of 6 rectangles. So let's start with the top. On the top of this, what are the dimensions of the top? Okay, 4 by 8, just like we did for the volume. 4 by 8, which is how much? Okay, now is there another one just like it? Yes, the bottom, although we can't see it, it's there. We have the bottom, so I'm going to put a B for the bottom and make a little rectangle. The bottom rectangle is going to be a 4 by 8 as well, and you get 32. Okay, which face do you want to do next? Okay, let's do the front then. Somebody said the 5 by 4, so that would be the front. The front rectangle, which would be a 5 by 4, which is 20. I'm just looking over here to see. I'm tracing it with my pen or pencil to find out what the dimensions of that face are. And what other one will be the same? The back would be another 5 by 4. Now, does every rectangular solid have two that are the same? Usually for a rectangular solid you do, but not every solid will be that way. Okay, and then we have left the sides, the right, and then the left side. So what are the dimensions of the right? As I trace it, it's going to be a 5 by 8. And they're rectangles again, so I'm making a rectangular shape. 5 by 8 is 40, and I have a left side, so it would also be a 5 by 8, and I get another 40. Now, you told me I had 6 faces. Do I have 6 areas here? What am I going to do with those? Add them up. So I get 64 plus 120. So I get 184. Now what will my label be? No, it's not cubic this time. It's area, so it's square, just like you did yesterday. 184 square centimeters. That's the surface area of the same rectangular prism. Okay, now let's go to the volume of this shape. This shape is called a triangular prism. It's called a triangular prism because its base is in the shape of a triangle. Now the volume, write the formula down. The volume is the area of the base times the height, no matter what the prism is. It's a capital B, and that stands for the area of the base. The shape of the base is what this time? A triangle, so I have to find the area of a triangle. Now over here in my solid, what are the dimensions of my triangle? A 5 by 4, and you want to find the base and the height that make a right angle, because this and this are exactly the same. So we want to find the area of the triangle. We're going to take 4 times 5 and then what? Divide by 2 because it's a triangle. And that gives you 10. 4 times 5 is 20. Divided by 2 is 10. Okay, so I have now the area of my base. The area of the base, that's your B, is 10. And what do I still have to do with that? Okay, so I take 4 times 5 divided by 2. That was 10. I'm going to take it times 8. I have 8 layers. So I get a total of 80 cubic centimeters. Okay, so this is really the volume all in a nutshell. Take the area of the base, which is a triangle this time, 4 times 5 divided by 2, the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle divided by 2, times the height of the prism. That's like how many layers you have. Surface area. For the surface area, I'm finding all the area of the faces. Now, how many faces are on this triangular prism? I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 faces. So for surface area, I'm going to find the area of a triangle to start with, which we just did that, didn't we? 4 times 5 divided by 2 was 10. Now, how many of those triangles did I have? 2, because this was the top, and I have another triangle that's the bottom. So I'm just going to put my ditto marks. Those are little ditto marks, and that's going to be another 10. Now, here's where students mess up, because what are the shapes of the other 3 sides or faces? They're rectangles, so I have 3 rectangles, but they're not all the same. Okay, so we have to be careful. Let's do this front one first. What are the dimensions of this face? 4 by 8. You see I'm tracing a 4, and the height is 8. 4 by 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Okay, then I'm going to do the right side. Trace the dimensions here, and what do you get? A 5 by 8, which is 40. What's left? The back side, which I don't have a measurement there yet, do I? Okay, it is going to be a 6. Let's put in a 6 on your picture. It'll be a 6 by 'So then that bottom one will be a 6 by 8, which is 48. Add all those 5 faces together, and what do you get? There's 20 plus 32 is 52. Okay, so we have 140, and what would be our units? Square centimeters. So this is the surface area, and this is your volume. Okay, the last shape that we're going to look at today is a cylinder. To find the volume, again, we're doing the area of the base times the height. But this time, what is the area of the base? What's the shape? It's a circle. So we've got to find the area of a circle first, which you all reviewed yesterday. I'm going to take the area of a circle times the height. What is the area of a circle? Okay, so I'm going to take radius squared times pi, and then take that times your height of your prism. Okay, write that down. That'll be kind of your nice little recipe. What is the radius in our picture here, in our cylinder? So we have 5 squared times 3.14. It's pi, and then times your height, which is 12. Equals 942 cubic centimeters. So you've just found the volume of a cylinder. Surface area is the area of all the faces. Now there are actually 3 faces. Those of you that made this 3-dimensional shape yesterday noticed you had 2 circles, and then you had a rectangular area. Okay, I need you to write down on your paper the 2 circles and the rectangular area. To find the area of a circle, it's radius squared times pi, which we just did. It's 5 squared times 3.14, and if you do that, you get 78.5. Now, how many of those circles do I have? Okay, so I'm going to put my little ditto marks, 78.5. But here's the tricky part. What is this rectangular part? Well, the height is 12, but what's this distance going across? It's the circumference. Very good. It's the circumference of a circle. So how do you find the circumference? Diameter times pi, and then we take that times your height. Okay, so then let's do that. Our diameter would be what? 10 times 3.14 times 12. That's the height. And what'd you come up with? And what do I do now? I add those three numbers together. 533 and 8/10 square centimeters. All right, so you have found then the surface area and volume of a cylinder.